This man is cradling the small body of his 2-month-old grandson. Taim Mahmoud al-Khawaja died of hypothermia. He's the second infant to die over just 2 days as a heavy rainstorm battered Gaza, where hundreds of thousands of people living in tents face flooding and cold conditions. Like so many others, Taim was forced to live under tarps after Israeli bombardment destroyed his home.
طبعا احنا انقصف بيتنا فرحنا لبيت ثاني مفرغ غطيناه بالشوادر امبارح كله ازرق ازرق.
He was rushed to Rantisi Hospital, but it was already too late. His organs had already begun shutting down. Instead, his date and time of death were inscribed on his small body. Gaza Civil Defense says that 8 people died altogether in this storm in Gaza, several of whom died after buildings that were already damaged from the war collapsed on top of them. So how can it be that babies are dying of cold in Gaza 2 months after this ceasefire went into effect? Well, first of all, there's still an enormous need in Gaza. 90+% of its residential buildings were destroyed by Israeli bombardment over the course of this war. But then there's also the question of what is and isn't being allowed into Gaza in terms of aid. And the United Nations and other aid groups say that Israel is restricting the entry of critically needed items for the winter, including tent poles and other shelter materials. According to the UN, fewer than 50,000 tents have actually entered Gaza since the ceasefire came into effect, and 1.28 million people are still in need of urgent shelter assistance. The Norwegian Refugee Council, an independent aid group, they say that only a trickle of shelter equipment has been able to enter Gaza. They say nearly 4,000 pallets of shelter materials have been rejected by Israeli authorities. The Israeli authorities, for their part, they deny that there is any kind of restriction of winter supplies, and they provide this figure. They say nearly 270,000 tents and tarps have entered Gaza. But what's clear is that whatever is getting in simply isn't enough, because we've had 2 babies now die of hypothermia and so many others still at risk as winter sets in Gaza.